I notice that people honestly don't know that. So yeah, and also just a tip, you are in most airlines. Obviously, you can do your research on that particular airline that you are using, but you are allowed about a 7 kilogram carry-on luggage and obviously your handbag, but they don't count backpacks. So you can have 3 pieces. You can have your rolling suitcase hand luggage that's 7 kilograms, and that's the only thing they'll weigh. But you will still have your backpack if you're somebody that carries a. In my family, everybody carries a backpack. We have carry-on luggages, we have 4 backpacks, and I have my handbag. So if you're needing additional space, just know that you can put a backpack there and you've got extra stuff to carry. What I always also carry on me on my hand luggage is extra changes of clothes, when I'm going with kids, for them and also for myself, because 9 hours sitting down and like things spill and this and that, and then you've gotta get off, and maybe you have a 2 to 3 hour layover, and then you've got to take another journey again for another couple of hours. You might want to get to your halfway mark and maybe freshen up. I know that if you are somebody that uses maybe lounges at the airport, some lounges, even domestic lounges, have showers, so you can actually shower and change and be fresh for the next flight if you are that type of person. If not, I've seen people kind of also freshen up in bathrooms at the airport, whatever, but things do happen. And sometimes also the weather changes, and it's not even the weather, it's the air cons. It's freezing in those international airports, so you might have been warm on the flight or warm when you left, but when you get there, or in fact even the flights themselves are just freezing. I always have socks on, and I carry extra socks, and I just carry extra things with me because it's a climate on its own on those flights. The other thing that I also always carry with me is like a small little blanket, because it gets, listen, they crank that AC down to I don't know what degrees, because you feel like it's snowing on that flight and you can't even fall asleep. In a lot of the international flights like Emirates, Qatar, and all of those flights, they will give you blankets, but they will take them like maybe an hour before you land, and then you freeze for the hour that you're sitting there, but they won't take your own blankets. And also sometimes they're not warm enough and you like need 2 layers, so then at least you have your own blanket. But I would say something small that you can roll and put into your hand luggage, or you can maybe even carry on you. If you have kids, definitely have your own blankets, but blankets are a must. I always carry a blanket with me. Then the last thing that I just want to touch on is in terms of the size of the luggage itself. The luggage that you're checking in. Generally, international airlines allow you to carry a bit more, which is great. But if you are traveling, say, from a different province and then traveling internationally from say OR Tambo or Cape Town or Durban, but you've had to travel first from a different province, it becomes tricky, because if, say, your Emirates flights that you're catching in Joburg allows you to take on 40 kilograms luggage, but your Mango or your Fly SA fare doesn't allow you to take on 40 kilograms. So I sometimes just pack luggage sizes or weight sizes that won't be a problem for domestic flights as well, because a lot of the time it's very expensive traveling from Cape Town. So a lot of the time I travel from OR Tambo, so I first have to fly from Cape Town to OR Tambo and then fly out. So then for that reason I will just to avoid additional costs. And also just know that if you are traveling, say, from now OR Tambo straight, and you don't have the connection issue that we have when we don't live in Joburg, and you have exceeded the weight limitation, you will be paying in dollars, Baba. So my suggestion to you is keep to the weight limitations, because maybe on the domestic flight you can afford to pay the 250 rands, but when that 250 rands is now $250, it's no longer as cheap. Again, our wallets are not the same. I personally don't want to pay in dollars, I always check what the weight limitations are and I make sure to stick to them, or create in your budget money to pay for that. But also what people don't think of as well, sometimes, and I know a lot of people that do this, they will travel overseas with empty suitcases, and then they shop there and then they bring back all the stuff on the side, or they don't fill up their suitcases so that when they shop then they don't exceed the weight limitations. I carry with me all the time, even if I'm traveling domestic flights, whatever the proper English is. But even if I'm traveling locally, I always carry my luggage scale and I will check my items. And then even at the airport, you can actually go to a scale that is not being used and you just check your stuff there so that you make sure that you don't exceed the limitations. And the last thing before we close this session, I would say, is when you arrive on the other side, the first thing that you need to do is you need to buy a SIM card, a local SIM card. I also think that this is another topic that I perhaps need to do a separate video on, because it's a bit tricky and different destinations work differently. I'll just make an example. When we went to Dubai the first time, we didn't buy a SIM card at the airport because we just thought, we were traveling with kids and it's a long story, but my husband was sick and we just wanted to get to the hotel as quickly as we can. We didn't want to hold queues, so we left the airport. But my goodness, trying to get a SIM card as a foreigner in a foreign country outside of the airport was mission impossible. So my suggestion to you is, the airports won't give you any hassle. They'll ask for your passport and they will sell you a SIM card and you're good to go, because one, the hotel Wi-Fi sucks, and also if you're traveling with other people, you want to be able to go your separate ways and call each other, and it just makes traveling that much easier if you can communicate with each other and you can communicate with your family back home any time of the day without needing to actually be at the hotel in order to be reachable. So buy your SIM card at the hotel. Save yourself the hassle of just maybe never even being able to get a SIM card. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I definitely hope that the information was very helpful to you. If it was, if you found the information useful, please like the video and subscribe to my channel and share with your loved ones. And I hope that it was really informative. And if there's anything that you left out or anything that you feel that maybe I need to make a separate video on, or any particular admin topic that you feel would really make a difference, or you want to add on to any of the information, please feel free to do so in the comment section below. And thank you and bye.